What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay Friday show. We got our guy Tony Mejia with us, man, from Wichita. What's up with you, Tony? Everything cool with you?
Everything good, man. Getting ready for the World Cup this weekend. So we got football and basketball. And college is in full swing with all these tournaments. There's one in Jamaica I was watching earlier this morning, a bunch in other parts of the country. So, man, we got a ton to do. Hope everything is well with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. We got NBA every single day, man. So hey, we got to keep working no matter what's going on. You see what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about the top five NBA games today, my guys. So that's what we're gonna go through. Break down some free NBA picks for the games. First up, man, it's all business here. First game up, we're going to the streets of Philadelphia here, Tony. We got the 76ers laying a point versus the number one team over there in the East and the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Seems pretty fishy right there. I know the early this season they were laying 4.5 and ended up losing outright. The Bucks got them 90-88, right? So the Bucks have beaten this team 7 of the past 8 times. It could be another Smack City spot here coming tonight, right, Tony? You like anything in this game?
Yeah, I mean, that game, too. Drew Holiday shot 2 for 15, and James Harden was in the mix and went 31, 8, and 9. So it was a game that really Philly should have won, and the Bucks ended up pulling it out. And the reason why they pulled it out was Giannis played well, 21, 13, and 8, and Joel Embiid did not. 6 for 21 from the field, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 turnovers. He was a minus 10 on the floor. And now it's his team again with James Harden out. Obviously, he's got Tyrese Maxey to help out. They've won 2 straight, beat the Hawks, beat the Jazz at home. Now they're in a spot where I could see why they're favored because they've got a little bit of a momentum, and the Bucks are still shorthanded. But I think that this is an interesting spot for Giannis to continue his MVP playing because he's been lights out all season. The Bucks right now coming off a big performance, and they're playing really well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a tough game, man. It's a tough one. It's crazy because like if I was betting the game, like I'm looking at the Sixers, right? They had 4 days off, man. It's like a luxury. You see what I'm saying? So they could come in rusty, but they could come in really rested as well. The Bucks have played 2 games since then. So the Sixers obviously have the rest advantage here, huge rest advantage. Third game at the house. So I mean, hell, Embiid went off for 59 points last game. If we see that Embiid today, it's going to be scary hours for the Bucks. Obviously, you see what's up with Drew Holiday. He's questionable in this game. If he does play, then you'll get the Bucks. The Bucks will be the favorite at this game. In this game, so it's a tough one for me right now. But it's crazy. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers did get it done in this one. But if Drew Holiday is able to play, that'll be a huge boost for the Bucks in that one. Tough game, man. I still lean Sixers though, Tony. Let's go over here to the streets of Dallas though. Let's go. We got the Mavs here laying 9 points versus the Nuggets, right? Nuggets. No Jokic in this game, no Jamal Murray as well. I think Aaron Gordon is still questionable as well. So you're gonna have Michael Porter Jr. and the guys out there, Tony. You like anything in this spot?
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like Michael Porter Jr. on his own because he's thirsty when he's out there without Jokic really feeding him and without Jamal Murray and even Aaron Gordon, who was out the other night against the Knicks, deflecting attention from him. He just wants the ball, and he is the most capable scorer on that team, but offense bogs down when he wants the ball like that. I much prefer as a catalyst Bones Highland, even though he's coming off the bench. We'll see what they do with Aaron Gordon. I mean, obviously there's an illness going around that team with now Murray joining Jokic in health and safety protocols. So I want no part of the Denver Nuggets. Knicks just snapped a winning streak in Denver of since 06 they hadn't won there. And we'll talk more about the Knicks later as they go to San Francisco to play the Warriors. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a Mavericks first half spot, Mavericks full game spot. Even with Maxi Kleba out, you got arrested Luka Doncic back, and they play well without him. I mean, they lost to the Rockets, but Tim Hardaway Jr. I think found a little bit of a rhythm. We've seen Spencer Dinwiddie really step up this season with Jalen Brunson gone. So even Dwight Powell's given them decent contributions inside. So this is a Mavs first half full game spot for me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough, man. Yeah, the only way I could look at the Mavs here is I can't lay the points with them. Obviously the line is on. I mean, they're supposed to come in here and smack them up. 4 straight home game as well. And coming off a loss to the Rockets, like you said, Luka rested here. It's just, I mean, what these guys are 0-8 against the spread last 8 games, man. It's
That's
about
true.
0-8 and 0-8 and 0-9 and 1 against the spread last 10. So I'm not sure what to do with this team right now. They're supposed to come out here and smack them up, but what we see time and time again, okay, the star players out, we don't give our best game. Mavs should smoke them. These two teams play again on November 20th, so in a couple of days, a little home and home, but it's tough for me. I'm not looking Nuggets way without Jokic. It's just not what I'm doing, guys. Tough game for me.
DeAndre Jordan instead of Jokic doesn't do it for you?
Come on now, guys. Come on now. What are we doing here? DeAndre Jordan in the NBA these days. Come on. I ain't gonna even get started on it, man. But let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, Tony. We got the Pelicans getting 2.5 points at the house versus the Boston Celtics, man. Celtics smoked the Hawks in the last game, my guys. I had the Hawks. Got smoked in that one, man. But it happens, right? Betting against one of the top tier teams. Celtics. It's tough to bet against them, right, Tony? You think they keep it going here today and make it 9 straight wins?
Let me take a quick look at this injury report for this game, because that's obviously key for the depth of the Boston Celtics, with Marcus Smart having been out, and same with Malcolm Brogdon. Now I see Brogdon has been upgraded to probable, which is obviously a huge key. Peyton Pritchard played really well the other night, because I was on Atlanta, in fact, specifically because I thought that they would be able to score with him on the floor, him being such a much smaller defender. And they're not being a very good defensive team without Robert Williams anyway. So I was on the Hawks. They just didn't shoot well, completely let me down. And Pritchard, to his credit, played really well. But I still, if I was on Boston, would not want to see him on the floor very often unless you need him due to foul trouble or something like that. So Brogdon being probable is a big deal. And then Marcus Smart is now questionable. So they could have a full boat. Zion Williamson also questionable, and lately it's been addition by subtraction with him. Not that he hasn't played well, because he's been pretty efficient offensively, but defensively that rating is way down when he has to face the floor, and Larry Nance Jr. is playing his ass off, really making up the difference with Zion off the floor. So this is a great matchup. The Celtics, though, have been very good on the road. That's one thing that you have to take into account if you ride in the Pelicans here, because the Pelicans have been pretty good at home, but the Celtics are a 6-2 road team right now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Celtics, it's tough to go against them, man. I will say this, that the Pelicans, they have a great defense, just which Pelicans team will come to play. This is their 5th straight home game. So I have a rule of not betting it. Like I said, I don't have a play in this game. I have a rule though of not going against a team that's been at the house for a while. They're in the same gym getting hot. And I heard CJ McCollum say as well that they're trying to knock some teams off in this homestand. So they are the home underdog here. They have a lot more depth than the Hawks do as well. So I know we like the Hawks versus the Celtics. Marcus Smart ended up not playing that way. You can wonder if Hawks maybe thought it was going to be easy or what, but regardless of that, they didn't have enough. We know Hawks, they're starting to shop Collins and all type of stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised which happened in this game, to be honest with you guys. Wouldn't be surprised if Pelicans had enough depth and defense to lock up with these guys. Especially, they would definitely need Zion to play, because that's where you can kind of get the Celtics. If you can get some points in the paint with Zion Valanciunas, that's how you can beat them. Zion doesn't play. it's going to be tough for the Pelicans, I must say. Celtics.
Keep an eye out on one thing, Jay. The Zion Williamson uses, it affects the total, because, like you mentioned, they do have the pieces to be a very good defensive team. Trey Marshall is a great defender. Alvarado, that they bring off the bench, great defender, and obviously Herbert Jones, makes his name on defense. But when Zion's out there, he is part of the problem in terms of being put into pick and rolls and whatnot. So with this number going from 227 to 230 and a half. If Zion's in there, I'd like the over. If not, there's going to be some value on the under.
Exactly, yeah. And Tatum and Brown, man, they going bonkers right now, man. So you better throw some defenders at them boys. If not, they're gonna cook your ass. But yeah, it's tough to go against the Celtics right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they did keep it going, 9 straight win. But also it's Pelicans, man, they 5 straight home games. Just saying, 5th straight home game. We'll see what happens in that one. Really good game to watch, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah here, Tony. We got the Jazz here getting 2 points versus the Suns, man. Let's just put this way, man. Maybe I hope that the Jazz played their hearts out here. Let's just put it that way, my guys. Looking at a spot potentially tomorrow with significance to fade the Jazz. You dig what I'm saying? But Tony, here we got the Jazz getting 2 points at the house versus the Suns. Suns traveling all over the place, right? They just came off the road trip, come to the house for one game versus the Warriors. Now back on the road here. How you looking at this game?
Well, look, the Jazz are slightly coming back down to earth. They've lost 3 straight. And we'll see if Chris Paul is able to return today, because he's again listed as questionable, so you got to monitor that. The common theme over the last 3 games for the Jazz has been Lauri Markkanen kind of coming back down to earth himself. He was scoring so efficiently and actually had 32 in their previous win in Atlanta on November 9th. Since then, they've held him down, and the Jazz have lost at Washington, at Philadelphia, and home against the Knicks. And that loss to the Knicks at home was very disappointing to them. So we'll see if they bounce back. I mean, this is really their first dose of adversity, and I really like what the Phoenix Suns have done in spite of everything that's gone against them. Jay Crowder holding out to be traded. You lose Cam Johnson, and now you find out that they're trying to lowball Cam on his extension, and he obviously said no. And those things in the NBA, they spill over to the floor, and in Phoenix they haven't. And without Chris Paul, they've still managed to persevere, won another big rivalry game, which makes this a letdown spot, coming off that big win against the Warriors. But Campaign's playing well. Devin Booker's taking no prisoners. So Phoenix are nothing for me. I think that at this point, you trust their winning mentality over a Utah team that's really needs their fan base to get behind them in a good first half to have a chance in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. You made some good points there, Tony. So I'm just looking at it. Obviously, they come off the 4-game road trip on the East Coast, right, where they only went 1-3. Come home, handle the Warriors. Now you go on the road for this one game versus Utah. Then you come back to the house for a homestand. I don't like the spot for the Suns here, man. But like you said, that's the point that you made, Tony, that Utah, after they're taking a little losing streak now, right? How do they deal with this? Do they start to? We always say when bad teams, when they come out, I mean, it's not that the Jazz are a bad team, but we know that everybody had low expectations for them. They came out smoking hot. Now after 3 straight losses, like, oh, okay, damn, are we not as good as we were playing? Like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Their confidence can kind of get shot a little bit. So this is a game I'll be watching for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz won this game, though, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at it, the last 3 losses, let's look at them. Wizards, they start to run out of gas on their road trip. Lost versus the Wizards, and then back-to-back versus Philly. Then it was 3rd game in 4 nights. They had to fly home versus the Knicks. Knicks just come off a team meeting all days. You know what I'm saying? The Jazz play their game here. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Suns in this game, my guys. So, but I hope this game goes to double overtime. Let's just put it that way. But last game up here, Tony, we got the Warriors here. We're going to the streets of San Francisco here. You dig what I'm saying? We got the Warriors laying 7.5 versus the New York Knicks here, Tony. What are we doing with this game, man? The Warriors, obviously, they could smack them up. Knicks start to play a little bit better. You like something in this game?
Well, the Warriors are home, right? So it's a different team at home than 0-8 on the road. And I think they would love this game to be at Madison Square Garden because they've won 8 in a row there. Maybe that's exactly what they need. You know what really surprised me digging up on this game is that the Knicks have never lost at the Chase Center. They're 3-0. So, and coming off wins that they don't normally get in Salt Lake City and in Denver, this is an interesting spot for the Knicks, who are starting to figure it out second unit wise. I really like what they've brought to the table in terms of getting Jalen Brunson that early rest and coming in with quickly and Derrick Rose and Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims, and that's really changed the dynamic of the last 2 games because the Knicks have started slow. Total wise is what the first thing that came to mind here, and it is the second highest total on the board, 235-ish. You got Jordan Poole trying to bounce back and get off a shooting slump. Klay Thompson really hasn't looked himself either. I mean, I think this is a spot that the Knicks are playing with house money, coming off 2 consecutive road wins to start this trip. But obviously Golden State does feel some pressure getting embarrassed by Phoenix again. What you think?
Exactly. Yeah, no, you make a good point there. When you coming off that loss versus Phoenix, and now they were trying their best to win that game. See what I'm saying? And still end up losing it. So you see Steph kind of pissed off afterwards. I mean, they know that they're not as good right now as they were last year. But at the house, they let the crowd get behind them. Obviously, they start hitting their threes, and they start playing their game. But you also made a good point. Knicks have some depth. They're playing good, and it's crazy because they are the one East Coast team that when they go West Coast, they seem to play well. It's not even just versus the Warriors. It just seems like every year when they go to the East Coast, they seem to really, I don't know, get together or whatever. Really, when they go to the West Coast, they really bond or whatever. So East Coast team going to the West, at some point it's going to catch up with them, but maybe the first 3 games is, you know what I'm saying, it hadn't showed so much in the first couple. So a couple outright wins versus under. Obviously, they caught the Nuggets without their guys, but nice, impressive win versus Utah over there. So we're going to see if they can keep it going, man. Nothing for me on this one, Tony. Let's get to some free picks here, my guy, Tony. What you liking? What you got going over here? What you talking? Any free picks for us today on the channel, bro?
All right, well, we got 5% play and a game we did not discuss tonight, so that's over there. I'll have some free plays, and on my page right now is just a football free play up. Been really concentrated on this World Cup. Hit a total and the side play this morning with Serbia against Bahrain. So we go like that on soccer, and clearly college and NBA hoops and college and pro football. So lots to do. I'm glad you were able to do this show with me. So I gladly set out 15, 20 minutes of my day to spend some time with you on this. But yeah, I'm going right back to the grind after this, and lots to do. Obviously, a big weekend. Let me give you some free information first before a free play. In the Orlando-Chicago game, it looks like a potential Wendell Carter Jr. revenge spot because he is now available, and Gary Harris will make his season debut, which really takes me off the Bulls because the Bulls have been playing terribly. I thought this would be a get-right game against the Magic without Banchero. Now I'm getting away from that completely. And what I really like, watch out if Kevin Porter Jr. is definitely cleared to play because right now he's questionable with lower back soreness. But if he's out there, you got to love the track meet against the Pacers, even with the highest total on the board, pushing 238 right now. The Pacers are going to be healthy. Tyrese Halliburton's not even on the injury report. You get Kevin Porter Jr. out there to facilitate and push when he gets a rebound, and I'm going to love the pace in that game. Buddy Hield and Miles Turner playing well to try to get themselves traded still. Really a nice spot for a 130, 125 game, and it's at 237 right now. So over for me, Rockets Pacers.
I like it, Tony. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything on today's card, my guys. I'll be back ASAP as soon as I can, man. I promise you guys, man. Y'all can follow Tony on Twitter at Mejia Dinero. You can follow me as well at J Money is Money, my guys. We back ASAP, full in the flesh, my guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody with the good vibes. It's still Us Against the Bookies, man, forever. You see what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out, my guys. We back.